Hey, I'm Kev. Welcome back to MotoGP 18. As Mayo's had a very difficult time in the last few races and has really closed up in the championship battle. Can he get back on track round the Brno circuit in the Czech Republic? So with the last update, they made our opponents a bit more difficult. I'm not quite on the same level I was previously, so back down to realistic, but not too much. Should we get it down to 110? I think that would be a good level just to try here, because in the second half of the season we find the circuits much easier. You saw that on the Avintia last season. So on the Leopard, we should quickly go back up to extreme level. But let's try it on this level, see how we do, and then probably increase it for next time out, because of course you won that on the Avintia. So we'd probably be jumping right back up to extreme and then back down, just circuit dependent basically now with this difficulty. So here goes Mayo for the first of 3 possible qualifying laps around this long Brno circuit. I believe the longest on the calendar. Definitely a circuit which has been kind to McDonald's in the past. Let's see if Mayo can do well. Look at that, getting the rear end out for that first corner. Such a long traction zone. And he's stuck in the slipstream with someone, which is actually pretty good for the first sector. Now if he gets a good qualifying, because the issues he's had in previous races, because his qualifying's just not been up to scratch like it was in the first third of the season. And you saw in Spain, after the battle through the field, it caught him out. And then battling well through the field in Assen. And then the Saxon ring last time out again, being caught out this time by his teammate Della Porta. Rumours are they haven't spoken since then. So some bad blood between the teammates. With Bastianini as well on the ascendancy. It's not going well for McDonald and Team Leopard. For the first time this year. Let's see if he can break that drought he's had. Not been on the podium for 3 races. A catastrophe. But he is still leading the championship by just 3 points ahead of Martin. Connect closing in. DJ Antonio's less than a race from behind. So it's very close at the top. That's what we like to see going into the second half of the season. A close championship. It should be fighting for every inch, these 4 riders. A bit wide there through the second right. That's not very good. And you see he's now 3 tenths down on Martin with that 206.9. Probably going to be in the 205s, I think, will be pole. So they'll definitely got to improve that. We go through the penultimate corner. Go through the final corner. You can see that rear just battling to stay upright. And that's a 207.8. That's dreadful from McDonald. He has to improve a couple of seconds there, surely. Be right up there with 5 minutes to go. That's good midfield pace, but that's what McDonald wants. He's had midfield pace in qualifying. It's not proven to work out. He's had back of the field pace the last couple of qualifying, especially in the wet and the Saxon. That was horrible. But McDonald got a good guide in front. And he's half a second up almost into the back of his guide for the right-hander. But he's getting slipstream on all of these straights. Giving fantastic slipstream into this right-hander. So finally made the move. He's actually battling on his qualifying lap. Something you always want to do. He goes for the left. This time he blocks off his former tour guide. He's going to the left, taking all of that curb. Look at that, half a second down. He's in improvement. There is Bastianini with 205.2. Told you need to be in the 205s, maybe in the 204 here. The grab pole. We're not getting into the groove. For the right hand, he's got good lines as well. He's just a bit slow. So he just needs to push a bit more maybe on this final out. He's gone wide again in that right-hander. Look at that, he's a second back of his teammate. This is just going to be a 206 at the moment. Unless he can pull something out of the bag in these final couple of corners. Trying to use all of those curves to out-turn the bike like he used in Assen. But he's getting nothing from them. As he go towards the line. 206.5, it's an improvement, but 1.2 back on his final qualifying effort. Can McDonald pull something out of the bag? But you saw in that previous lap, he was battling for parts of it. As Martin's now at the top with a 205.2. And now McDonald's going to lose out on the slipstream here, which got him a couple of tenths of a second, no doubt about that. Brakes very early into the left-hander. Oh, just gets on the power in time. You can see he's lost some time in that first set to sanction not having that slipstream. But he should now be quicker for the second part of that, especially in this set to where he's battling. Should be much quicker. Having to take alternate lines, can just take the maximum line to carry all that speed into the corners. It's such a rhythm section as well. There's all once again battling that rear, getting on the power. Goes downhill through the left. Such a tricky braking zone. And then through the right, you can see he's 6 tenths down on Martin. Now let's see what we can do in the second half of this lap. This is what's so great about Brno. And so challenging as well. All of these braking zones, downhill, uphill. You can't push it in the downhill braking zones, but then you really got to push it in these uphill braking zones. That's it, nicely into the left. And into the right. Look at that, hooking it up, McDonald. But still, he's not improving. Are you kidding? Look at that, he's on the edge of the top 10 now. So go through the left. In through the final corner, through the right. Gets on the power early and hard. No improvement, no. So Martin grabs pole just ahead of Bastianini and Di Gianantonio with Connect leading the second row ahead of Antonelli and Bezzecchi. Then Della Porta leads the third row ahead of Otto and his teammate McDonald. That should be a spicy first corner as Rodrigo rounds out the top 10 ahead of Suzuki and Mino. You've got McPhee, Nuruddin and Lopez. Good qualifying for the Malaysian for the first time this year. You've got Ramirez, Arenas and Berger. Kornfeld on home turf on the 7th row alongside Fogger and Yurchenko. Then Bind on the 8th row alongside Sasaki and Tuba, the Japanese riders. In Arbolono on the 9th row alongside Mesa and the Thai rider. While at the back it's Misaki and Livio Loy. So let's see what McDonald can do in the race from a top 10 starting position. As here's McDonald revving up at the start then. Waiting for the lights to go. Off in Brno. Let's get underway in the wet conditions. So McDonald having to use some of the settings such as traction control and engine braking for once. Let's see if we can have a good start around here as he's a bit wide. We're getting on the power nice and early though. And down the inside of not just Suzuki but Rodrigo as well. And look at that wild bunch in front, the top 8. There's a break into the left and McDonald almost into the back of teammate Della Porta. And that Bastianini's been pushed back and Martin. As good as the 3 Leopards together. Couldn't have choreographed that much better, but it's only for 7th, 8th and 9th. Oh, down the inside, it's title rival though, Martin. It looks like it is. All the way down in 6th for Martin. McDonald not normally good in these conditions as they go 3 wide again. Out the left hand, oh, the championship rivals touch. We've got Otto in front in 5th. Fantastic job from the German. McDonald, oh, he's been pushed by not just Martin, but Bastianini as well. Made a bit of a mistake there with the gearing, did McDonald. But he holds on to 6th. You see the top 5 right in front now. This is the first lap he wanted. There's Bastianini into the back of his teammate. The Beast almost wiping out his teammate there. He's going to the left-hander. And through the right. Oh, Martin pushes McDonald wide. Very rude from Martin. McDonald survives, but that was to wreck his runner-up Horsepower Hill. He's going for the top 5. Now look at this, he's down in 8th. He's having to fend off Rodrigo now into the final corners. You've got Bezzecchi and Antonelli battling. Looks like Martin's best up in front, no. We've got Di Gianantonio leading. There's an all-Italian podium at the moment ahead of Canet and Ottel. Here goes McDonald down the inside of Martin, not quite. Well, he gets a nice exit from the first corner, right in the slipstream of that Cresini. Looking to the outside, looking to the inside as Della Porta's back for the top 10 with Rodrigo. Not without breaking himself, because you could see Martin trying to outbrake him. And Martin fighting back. These two have got to be careful though, don't be fighting too much or else you lose track of the top 6. Martin slots it. McDonald slots in front of Martin, but it doesn't last long. Oh, through the right hand, although McDonald grabs that position. Hogs that inside line as well ahead of Martin. And fine, he takes 7th back, I think. You go for the left hand and look at Otto really blocking Bastianini. Oh, and Bastianini into his teammate McDonald. Or was that McDonald into Bastianini? As he got a bit too focused on Otto. And now look at McDonald with the run. Downhill. 4th. As he got it secure. No, Bastianini's got into his teammate now. Wherever he wants to place the bike at the moment, he's finding an opponent, McDonald. He goes for the left-hander. Slots in ahead of Otto. If you get out of Horsepower Hill, up into the top 5 then for McDonald. Got Bezzecchi 4/10 in front. You approach the end of the second lap. What a fight this race has been already. Martin down in 7th, battling with Bastianini. The 4 men, not even in the top 5. As here goes McDonald across the line with a new fastest lap. 11.5, a 10th ahead. With Di Gianantonio up into 4th as well. Who would have thought in wet conditions this would be the turnaround for McDonald? Normally not that good in these conditions. But on it now, just like you saw in the Sachsenring qualifying, he's all over the place. Absolutely horrible. But he's made minimal changes for these conditions compared to normal. Just with the bike that goes off on Thursday off the back of the truck. Minimal changes. Just do the braking so it doesn't feel like a sled when braking. And just look how good this bike is in these conditions. That's why he's able to brake so well into these downhill corners especially. We go for the right hander. Got a trail brake through that left hander. Just wait to get on the power. It's a great race for Antonelli behind Bezzecchi at the moment. Well, Di Gianantonio leads. This is very big for the Italian in the championship. McDonald all over the curve. That's a horrible exit compared to what he had previous lap on Otto. Let's go downhill into the right hander though. Nicely on the power early. Unfortunately that top 3 still got a bit of a gap. Going to the left. Then into the right. Nice and smooth on that power. That's the exit you need up Horsepower Hill. He's less than a second behind Antonelli, but he's got half a second lead on Martin. So it's not any good this race for Di Gianantonio. It's fantastic for McDonald as well, having his rivals behind, or his close rivals, such as Canet and Martin. Of course, Di Giannantonio closes up that front pack as well. He is at the moment. Still a second off the podium as we go into the second half of this race. Not quite happening for McDonald. This is normally when he comes alive in this middle part of the race. It's not quite happening at the moment. Now remember, he has done the fastest out. He's done 11.5, done 11.8 that last lap. He's definitely lapping the same pace as the leaders. Just need to be a bit quicker, maybe a low 11 here. And then he's talking. You've got Bashni ahead of Hotel for 7th. Vigno ahead of Arenas for 17th. Would out that right hand on the power a bit early. The bike's staying upright so far. And trail breaking into this left-hander. Trying to get on the power, but look at the bike fighting back. Into the left, nice, he hooked up that apex. And see, he really does gain in that second sector now. That was his bogey sector in qualifying, it looked like. And now look at this, he's got a slipstream, he's got a run on Antonelli for 3rd, does he? No, not quite close enough, downhill into the right. But having the slipstream with Antonelli, you know, he's less than a second off the top 2 as well. So if McDonald can get past Antonelli quickly, you never know. We'll see up Horsepower Hill. Can he set up the run? I think he can, but he's still not close enough, is he? 3 tenths behind Antonelli. 8 tenths ahead of Martin. To break for the penultimate corner. And through the final corner. Try and get on that power as early as possible. What about that 111 flat? Told you needed another 111. What about that? Can't get much lower. Or to the inside of Antonelli on this penultimate lap. I think he's got ahead of the Italian. He has. Now he's just got the top 2. He's back on the podium for the first time in 4 races. Can he make it even more as here comes Antonelli back into the left-hander. Oh, McDonald saw that coming though. Saw the Italian running right. And hooks up that right-hander. Second gap to make up on Canet. Well, it was Bezzecchi's, Canet actually in front, and Di Giannantonio. So he's still losing points to the Spaniard, unfortunately, but he is way ahead of Martin now. Well, I say that, he's just 2 places ahead of Martin. But it feels like a lot in this championship battle. You see McDonald, that's not his quickest way around that corner, but he needs it to defend from Antonelli. Hook up that apex. So not gaining as much this time in that middle sector. Gets on the power nice and early. You've got Arenas and Vigno battling over 17th. Having a titanic battle over 17th. You've got Binder just battling and being in the top 25. Got Suzuki into the top 10. Got Bezzecchi and Della Porta, the Italians, battling over 8th. So McDonald a bit wide there. To the left. Means he has to compensate a bit in the right. Compromise himself as Cornfield into the points on home turf ahead of Ramirez. 1.5 seconds back for McDonald. Just got a lap to go. It's not going to happen, is it, for the win? It's all over the curve. That's a poor final corner. Allow Antonelli to get a run. So that second slower that lap compared to the previous one. He's 1.8. Fine Canet. We go for the final corner. He's hooking up that apex. No doubt he's pushing hard, but I think the gap's too big for the top 2. But can he hold off Antonelli for the final spot on the podium? I thought after the first third of this year, You never see a drought in the Champagne, but he has. And I was thinking he might be the happiest man on the podium at the end of this race. He can just hold on his final lap. Tyres half worn as well. It's in the bottom right. Bit wide in the right hander. Nicely hooks up the next right and the left as well. Taking it inside line. Going to power nice and early. And it's good for all his championship as well. Seeing DJ Antonio beat Canet. Lessens that point loss to the Spaniard from this race. But he's still not shaking off Antonelli. He's still just half a second back as the Italian. The slipstream is strong round it. You can stick to the tail of someone. As you see with Canet in front, not able to do anything on DJ Antonio, but just sitting there in case there is a mistake. But it's not coming from the Italian, is it? As you just got a couple corners to go, one sector to go. We've got up Horsepower Hill. Canet's got some slipstream, but he's not close enough, is he, for a dive? We're going to the penultimate corner. Don hooks that up. DJ Antonio hooks it up as well. And takes a fantastic win on his Grassini. Head of Canet. Across the line, McDonald back on the podium. And back ahead of his teammates as well. What a race. In the wet. I say you didn't expect that in the wet. What a come round. What a turnaround. So DJ Antonio wins by 4 tenths ahead of Canet. McDonald just 2 seconds back in the end. And he did a quicker lap on that final lap as well. 3 tenths quicker than the top two, but he's never catched them after that start. And starting low down in the field. Dropped back, but got forward. Did the fast lap as well in wet conditions. Just seen a good turnaround for McDonald in the wet. Ahead of Antonelli by 6 tenths in the end. Bastianini rounds out the top 5 ahead of Della Porta. Bizecchi, Otter, what happened to Martin? Down in 9th. Got shuffled down. His last couple of laps. Rodrigo in 10th ahead of Suzuki. McPhee, the Scott, good in these wet conditions. He would have guessed that. With Arbolona up to 13th. Fantastic ride for the Italian. Same for Kornfeld on the home turf. But half a second ahead of Arenas to grab the final point, but just under a couple of tenths ahead of Mino. Ramirez, Foggia, Sasaki, Alonso Lopez rounds out the top 20. Yurchenko in last. So in the Riders' Championship, McDonald actually extends his lead. Ahead of Canet now is up to second, 7 points behind San Marino rider. 5 points separates him and his fellow Spaniard Martin down to third. Then we've got DJ Antonio in fourth, right up there, 13 points back, at just a single point behind his teammate. Guys are getting even closer between the top four at this halfway mark of the season. With Bastianini in fifth, 54 points back, but you can't count him out of his current form. 10 points ahead of Bezecchi. You've got Antonelli, Della Porta in 8th, who I think you can count out. You've got Rodrigo up to 9th, Otto into the top 10, Mino drops out of the top 10. McPhee up to 14th, Confeld up to 15th, Alonso Lopez down to 16th. Arenas into the top 20 ahead of Foggia and Budiga. The 23 riders score points so far this season. Nurdin still rating 2, Binder, Loy, Mizaki and the Thai rider. As he look at the breakdown, the qualifying objective not achieved, but he gets a bit of a boost towards that first rider status, does McDonald, as he achieves a race objective finished before his teammates up to level 69. Giggity on the leaning angle, 67 for riding position and throttle management, and 68 for brakes management. Let's look at the breakdown, lots of development points achieved. And in MotoGP, Marquez beat Dovip and Rossi. Well, in Moto2, it was Miguel Oliveira beating his brother Alex Marquez. And in Xavi, in third. Fantastic result. And there you can see McDonald confirmed back on the podium, and also DJ Antonio and Canet. So what can do bike development-wise? Can we improve the engine? Well, we can't get maximum power out of it. And then with the brakes as well, prevent the locking. Definitely did help in those conditions. And in suspension, I haven't done anything to the suspension. Ability to absorb the shocks of surface roughness, which improves the bike's stability. Bike's damn stable at the moment. Then the frame increases the rate of descent of the bike when cornering, or makes the bike react faster when steering. So basically leaning into the corner, then leaning out as well with the stiffness. And then we've got the aerodynamics. We've definitely increased the downforce. That definitely did help. As well, then penetration increases the top speed of the bike. I don't think we need to concentrate on the top speed of this bike. But we're heading to the Red Bull Ring, where top speed will be vital around that track. We've got loads of horsepower hills and horsepower downhill as well. So, do we increase the engine again? Increase that traction, increase the acceleration. That would be important. Let's do it, shall we? So there we go, increased the traction. Don't we need to improve the engine anymore. As next time out, after grabbing his unlucky 13th podium in his career, Cam McDonald improved by a couple of steps and grabbed his first win since Mugello in Italy. 4 rounds ago. It feels like ages ago. A lifetime ago for McDonald, but he still leads to championship. Most importantly, you saw Martin slip up slightly. So let's see if McDonald can go and win round the Red Bull Ring once again. Thanks for watching, and we'll find out next time.